Triple J says yes. Check out our new and enhanced website at triplejguam.com. Get real-time view of every vehicle in our inventory, instant trade-in, plus easy financing. Triple J says yes. triplejguam.com.
Back then we had to go to
Welcome back to Cruising with KUAM. Pacific Extreme Combat held its first show on Guam in 2004 at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. Since then, it's cranked out fight after fight. It's where legends are made and rivals go toe-to-toe.
And it's crazy over the years, like when you look at like the cast of characters that have like been involved with PXC. I mean, going back to like the early days when you had that rivalry between like, you know, Manny Chong and, you know, Steve, and then moving on to the whole like Chris Brub, purebred rivalry. I mean, to me those, and it's crazy because like, yeah, those were amazing fights, but still up to now the fight cards are always awesome. And you know, back then though, like it was crazy because there was a lot of like talent that grew because of PXC, where you'd have like guys who were, oh yeah, they fight in the street or whatever, but they watch PXC, then next thing you know they're hitting the gym, they're getting serious, they're keeping it outside of the cage. And I think that a lot of like these fighters around now, like if it wasn't for PXC and them seeing that, hey, there's this place where I can go and I can throw down legitimately, they wouldn't even be doing the fight game.
Yeah, I think like when you speak about the rivalry and all the beef back then, I mean it was bad. I mean it was, Joey and I would be in situations in weigh-ins and be like, oh man, if anything goes down, you know, we got to chill this back. But you know, the rivalry was with the what do you call it again? The
Underworld Extreme.
Yeah, Underworld Extreme. Those were the guys. And I loved that at that time because if Chris, Alex, anybody from UX fought, they would just call people out and made it exciting, you know, and that's what people loved back then when they did not know about MMA. Now, in the 13, 14 years, you know, I'm thinking, you know, that PXC has educated people in the sport itself, that fighters don't do that anymore. There's a respect.
There is.
They train harder. You know, they got the training down to the science, cutting weight to the science, eating down to the science, and when they show up for these fights, they're professionals. And I'm happy because we set the platform for these guys, so when they now get signed in major events, they're representing not just themselves, but Guam, that we're professional.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, going back to the UX and that whole rivalry, I mean, I loved it because it was like theatrics. I mean, it was like a show, you know what I'm saying? And
you liked it, man.
I almost miss those days because you're right, like they just straight up, it's almost like WWF, you know what I mean? But like real.
I mean, I do and I don't. It was, you know, because us being such, you know, huge mixed martial arts advocate and being in the forefront of jiu-jitsu back then, you know, for us is martial arts is first and foremost peace and conducting yourself in a controlled environment or the way. But back then it was just Wild Wild West. And it was fun for TV, of course. But for me, I'm happy that it's at this level now where guys are professional. You know, we can have them in the same room and we know that they're not going to fight.
Yeah, I mean, I miss like the drama of it. I don't miss like worrying if there's going to be a riot.
The drama was I mean, the drama, and I mean, who was the best, man? It was Alex Castro, man. You know, Baby Joe time ago. I mean, that whole rivalry was just
crazy,
you know.
And I remember like going into these fights where it's like you'd have like the Umatic guys fighting, and then you'd have UX fighting, and like we'd always be like, man, I hope it's going to be safe to get out of here at the end, because you never knew of like, I mean, these guys are rolling like 100, 200 deep to the fight, you know what I mean? And you never knew like, are we going to be able to get out of here? And that's the part I don't miss. And you're right, like the level of professionalism, it's just like, not just with PXC, but with the fighters. I mean, now it's at the point where we're this like little organization here on Guam, you know, we're doing shows in PI, but now you get like the biggest fight business in the world, like UFC, just plucking fighters from, you know, your organization. Like, how's that feel? I mean, to grow these guys. I mean, because I know part of it's like, yeah, we're proud to rep in Guam, but at the same time, it's like you do this hard work, you know, matchmaking, you know, build these fighters up, and then boom, they're gone.
Well, you know, I mean, even way before that, we were producing fighters that UFC were grabbed. Like Jeremy Horn fought for us. Richard Clemente fought for us a couple of times and got, you know, a multi-contract. You you know, we had so many other fighters, man, Nori, all these guys that fought, you know, and that was way back then. And then, you know, after a while, you know, with Tropical and EJ handling the day-to-day stuff, I mean, and brought it over and helped bring it over to the Philippines, it opened up the market, you know, and opened up more. It seemed more attractive now because not only were we doing fights just on Guam, we're doing fights in Asia and the Philippines.
Internationally.
Yeah, nationally. So it was easier because with, you know, with the fight game and the new ideas of you know, our CEO, it just brought it to a different platform, you know, and it just, we were out there a lot more, you know, and I mean, you know, in the last, I say 2 years or 3 years, we signed 20, not we, but UFC picked up 20-something fighters and got them on from Hawaii to the States, to the Philippines, to Korea, to Japan, and you know, and I mean, KTT, they love that, you know, and the guys from Japan love it, and even the local boys. I mean, they all got signed from coming here. And for me, the best feeling for me is since day one, when we would sit down and it would be tired and it'd be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're folding the chairs and breaking down the ring. You know, Joey and I always had this image that we wanted to see the local boys make it to the big show, and that was UFC. You know, they still the big show. And you know, seeing guys not just from Guam, but you know, from Japan, from the Philippines, and I mean, our pride is seeing John Tuck. Our pride is seeing Don Jonas Regis. You know, our pride was seeing Anthony that lives in Hawaii. That's a local boy. Our pride was seeing Frank and Bigler on these UFC shows. Those are the guys that I can sit down and I'm ready to watch a fight. I'm like, oh my God, he fought for us, and they conduct themselves professional and they hold themselves with high respect in the game, because I think because of the platform that